Elvis and Susan Henning, 1968 NBC TV special. What a phenomenal moment captured during the rehearsals for the legendary '68 comeback special. This iconic special, officially titled Singer Presents, was a pivotal turning point, stripping away the cinematic fluff and re-establishing Elvis as a raw, electrifying stage performer. Here, he is seen alongside Susan Henning, a talented dancer and the former Miss Teenage America from 1967. The special was a massive gamble for Elvis and Colonel Parker, marking his spectacular return to live performance after years focused solely on Hollywood films. The intimacy of this picture reflects the relaxed yet focused energy on set. The producers initially pushed for a Christmas-themed show, but director Steve Binder convinced Elvis to go back to his roots, resulting in the famous black leather suits and the iconic guitar and stool performance. This special didn't just relaunch a career, it reminded the world why Elvis was and always will be the king of rock and roll. October 25, 1994, RCA released Amazing Grace, his greatest sacred performances. Did you know that gospel music was the true spiritual foundation of Elvis's soul? He loved the genre so much that he often warmed up backstage by singing gospel hymns, sometimes for hours. On October 25, 1994, RCA Records cemented this profound legacy with the release of the two-disc compilation Amazing Grace, his greatest sacred performances. This collection powerfully showcased the depth and spiritual conviction of his non-secular recordings, earning him all three of his competitive Grammy Awards in the gospel categories. Even amidst the frenzy of his rock and roll stardom, Elvis maintained a profound personal connection to this music. Friends and musicians recall him knowing the lyrics to nearly 100 hymns by heart. This album is a powerful testament to the spiritual side of the king, reminding us that his voice was equally, if not more, captivating when devoted to faith and reflection. The album was not just a compilation, it was a celebration of the music he called his favorite. October 25, 1959, Elvis was hospitalized while serving in the Army. Imagine being the biggest star in the world, yet still subject to military discipline. On October 25, 1959, while stationed in West Germany, Specialist 4th Class Elvis Presley was admitted to the 97th General Hospital in Frankfurt. The cause was a severe case of tonsillitis, which required professional medical attention. While his fans were eager for his return to music, the Army kept the king on a strict schedule. This particular hospital stay resulted in a 3-day sick leave, which he spent resting at the rented house he maintained in Bad Nauheim. This period in his life was a necessary pause, a brief break from the pressures of the Hollywood machine. He also endured minor surgery for the removal of swollen lymph nodes during his service overseas. It was during this very deployment, however, that he met Priscilla Beaulieu, a life-changing encounter that happened just a year earlier. This photo reminds us of the brief but important time when Elvis was just another soldier serving his country. Publicity photo for Live a Little, Love a Little. Look closely at this promotional shot. It comes from a peculiar time in Elvis's career. This is a publicity photo for the 1968 film Live a Little, Love a Little, a lighthearted comedy that saw Elvis play a magazine photographer named Greg Nolan. The film itself is often overlooked in his catalog, but it holds a crucial piece of history. It introduced the song A Little Less Conversation. While the original version was not a major hit, a remix decades later by Junkie XL became a global sensation, proving the song's timeless appeal. The film was also notable for its director, Norman Taurog, a veteran filmmaker who directed more Elvis movies than any other director. By 1968, Elvis was visibly tired of the repetitive movie roles and the stagnant formulas. This film marked one of his very last cinematic efforts before his legendary, career-defining return to the stage later that same year with the '68 comeback special. It was truly the calm before the storm that redefined the King's legacy. Kid Galahad. Here we see the king trading his guitar for boxing gloves in a dramatic still from the 1962 musical film Kid Galahad. Elvis plays Walter Gulick, an ex-soldier who takes a job at a small resort in Cream Valley, New York, only to find himself unexpectedly drawn into the world of professional boxing. To prepare for this role, Elvis worked closely with legendary boxing choreographers to ensure his moves looked authentic and convincing in the ring. While the film is a lightweight musical, the intensity of this scene shows the serious commitment Elvis brought to every part he played. The movie showcases his surprising versatility, not just as a singer, but as an actor capable of dynamic physical roles. Kid Galahad was also one of the last Elvis movies to feature original songs written specifically for the film, before the quality of his movie soundtracks began a noticeable decline. It remains a fan favorite, reminding us that Elvis was a powerhouse even when covered in sweat and leather. Elvis playing drums on the set of Jailhouse Rock, 1957. Talk about a multi-talented superstar. This fascinating behind-the-scenes snapshot captures Elvis in 1957 taking a break from playing the convict Vince Everett on the set of the groundbreaking film Jailhouse Rock. He was known to be an excellent amateur drummer and would often pick up the sticks between takes, sometimes jamming with his own band members who were also on the set. Though he mastered the guitar, piano, and bass, the drums were always a fun and powerful diversion. Jailhouse Rock is considered by many to be Elvis's finest movie and includes one of the most iconic musical sequences in cinema history, the title song's complex dance number, which Elvis himself helped choreograph. The film was so influential that its poster alone inspired countless rock and roll fashion choices across the globe. This picture perfectly shows the playful, casual side of the king, a man whose musical talents extended far beyond his legendary voice. King Creole Productions still at Lake Pontchartrain, NO. This moody, atmospheric production still comes from Elvis's 1958 cinematic masterpiece, King Creole. Filmed on location in the vibrant, steamy setting of New Orleans, specifically near the beautiful but often intimidating Lake Pontchartrain, the film showcases a grittier, darker side of the king. Elvis plays Danny Fisher, a troubled young man who finds solace and trouble in the city's nightlife and music scene. Director Michael Curtis, famous for the classic Casablanca, helmed the project, giving it a depth rarely seen in previous Elvis movies. Many critics and historians regard King Creole as the best film performance of Elvis's career, primarily because he was allowed to stretch his dramatic muscles. Tragically, it was the last film Elvis made before he was drafted into the Army, marking the decisive end of his early rebellious phase. This photo perfectly captures the dramatic intensity and New Orleans noir that makes King Creole such a timeless classic. 1956. April 6, Paramount Studio Hollywood Cal signed Elvis Presley to a 3-year movie contract. The day Hollywood officially opened its doors to the king. On April 6, 1956, fresh off the explosion of his first major hit, Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis Presley signed a landmark 3-year movie contract with Paramount Pictures in Hollywood. This moment irrevocably changed the trajectory of his career, pivoting him from a touring rock and roll sensation toward a silver screen star. Colonel Tom Parker, his shrewd manager, orchestrated the massive deal which guaranteed Elvis a staggering salary per picture plus a healthy share of the profits. This contract led to early films like Loving You and the critically acclaimed King Creole, laying the foundation for his entire cinematic output over the next decade. While this move brought him immense wealth, it also shifted his focus away from recording groundbreaking music, a creative compromise that would later become a source of frustration for him. This signature was more than a contract. It was the start of the influential movie Elvis era that defined the 1960s. King Creole Productions still at Lake Pontchartrain, NO, with Carolyn Jones.
Here is another captivating glimpse into the set of King Creole in 1958, this time featuring Elvis alongside the talented actress Carolyn Jones. Jones, who is now perhaps best remembered globally as the legendary Morticia Addams from the Addams Family, played the character Ronnie, a sophisticated but troubled woman who becomes involved in Danny Fisher's life. This scene, likely shot near Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, captures the intense chemistry and dramatic tension that defined the film. Director Michael Curtiz pushed Elvis to deliver a powerful, nuanced performance, and his complex scenes with Jones are considered among the film's strongest. Interestingly, the lead role of Danny Fisher was actually intended for James Dean, who died tragically before production began. Elvis stepped into the role and delivered a performance that, according to many critics, rivaled that of the legendary screen rebels of the era. This photo is a powerful reminder of the dramatic potential Elvis possessed had his movie career taken a different path.
Alfred Wertheimer, Elvis 56 in the beginning. What you are looking at is an intimate, unfiltered moment captured by the legendary photographer Alfred Wertheimer, who had unparalleled access to Elvis in 1956. Dubbed Elvis 56 in the beginning, this photo shows the King traveling cross-legged in a train compartment alongside his bandmates, drummer DJ Fontana and bassist Bill Black. The original description perfectly captures the raw reality of the road. His famous white buck shoes, no longer pristine, and his slate gray suit, still looking sharp after a long night of performing. Wertheimer's photographs from this year are historically priceless because they captured Elvis just before he became the global icon, showing his youthful energy, vulnerability, and magnetic charm, before the fame became overwhelming. The intense shine on his pompadour, which the photographer humorously noted could rival a waxed Cadillac, was already a part of the budding legend. This photo is a stunning time capsule, showing the king of rock and roll and his small but mighty band on the very cusp of conquering the world. Elvis and Susan Henning, 1968 NBC TV special. What a phenomenal moment captured during the rehearsals for the legendary '68 comeback special. This iconic special, officially titled Singer Presents, was a pivotal turning point, stripping away the cinematic fluff and re-establishing Elvis as a raw, electrifying stage performer. Here, he is seen alongside Susan Henning, a talented dancer and the former Miss Teenage America from 1967. The special was a massive gamble for Elvis and Colonel Parker, marking his spectacular return to live performance after years focused solely on Hollywood films. The intimacy of this picture reflects the relaxed yet focused energy on set. The producers initially pushed for a Christmas-themed show, but director Steve Binder convinced Elvis to go back to his roots, resulting in the famous black leather suits and the iconic guitar and stool performance. This special didn't just relaunch a career, it reminded the world why Elvis was and always will be the king of rock and roll. Elvis is shown with his 1960 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 75 limousine, Ascot Park Raceway, Gardena, CA, February 1966. What a powerful image of the king in his stately ride. Here, Elvis is captured in February 1966 at the Ascot Park Raceway in Gardena, California, posing next to his impressive 1960 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 75 limousine. Elvis was notorious for his love of Cadillacs, often buying them on a whim and customizing them with incredible details. This particular model, the long wheelbase Series 75, was the height of luxury and a symbol of his immense success. In this period, Elvis was fully immersed in his Hollywood film career, and his public appearances, even at informal events like this raceway visit, were a constant source of fan excitement. The juxtaposition of the refined luxury car against the backdrop of the dusty racetrack captures the duality of Elvis's life, the polished celebrity who still enjoyed simple, speed-driven pleasures. This Cadillac wasn't just transportation, it was a mobile throne for the king. Maple Leaf Gardens, Toronto, Canada, April 2, 1957. Toronto news photographer Lou Turovsky. Take a look at the electric atmosphere in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens on April 2, 1957. This iconic photograph, captured by news photographer Lou Turovsky, documents one of Elvis's very few performances outside the United States. In the spring of 1957, Elvis was a global phenomenon, and his short Canadian tour, which included stops in Ottawa and Vancouver, was a major international event. The sight of Elvis in his famous gold lame suit, gripping the microphone with intense concentration, illustrates the raw power of his stage presence. The crowd's reaction, the sheer joy, and the overwhelming excitement spilling out of the frame show the massive cultural impact of rock and roll's first superstar. This moment was crucial, demonstrating that Elvis's appeal transcended borders and language. It was more than a concert, it was a legendary cultural explosion that cemented his status as a true world-class performer. Reviews like this from Robert Harvey is exactly what keeps us motivating. This specific segment is a detailed and heartfelt fan review from Robert Harvey of Australia, aimed at the producers of an Elvis collector's set, That's All Right. Since this text is a personal letter and not a photo caption, the most authentic and engaging narration should present it as a testament to Elvis's lasting legacy and the passion of his fans. The legacy of Elvis is continually kept alive by dedicated fans and historians across the globe. Listen to the passion in this excerpt from Robert Harvey, an Australian collector. The That's All Right set is truly a collector's masterpiece, destined not only for Elvis aficionados, but also for keen fans of the 50s. I was both entranced and enthralled with the whole wonderful concept. He continues, praising the dedication to detail. The magnificent book, along with the vinyl, is indeed a highlight of the set. You and your colleagues have certainly done your research, delivering the song that changed the world. Robert's enthusiasm perfectly illustrates the profound connection fans still feel to the king, especially to his pivotal 1954 Sun Sessions. The music of Elvis is not just history, it's a living treasure that inspires dedication and joy in millions worldwide, proving that That's All Right still truly changes the world. Elvis Presley rocks and rolls during the song Heartbreak Hotel, wowing enthusiastic teens at the Arizona State Fair in 1956. The image appeared in the Arizona Republic on June 10, 1956. Talk about a powerful flash of history! This incredible photograph, which ran in the Arizona Republic on June 10, 1956, captures Elvis in full, exhilarating motion at the Arizona State Fair. The year 1956 was the year Elvis became a nationwide superstar, and this image perfectly showcases the raw energy that captivated and sometimes scandalized America. He is seen tearing into his massive hit, Heartbreak Hotel, the song that launched him into the stratosphere of fame. His stage presence was utterly unique, blending incredible vocal power with mesmerizing, revolutionary movements. The sheer enthusiasm of the teenagers in the audience, completely overwhelmed by his performance, is palpable in this frame. This photo serves as a perfect visual document of the birth of the rock and roll phenomenon, a time when Elvis's electrifying performances were truly changing the face of American youth culture forever. Elvis on stage at RAE Stadium, Meridian, Mississippi, May 26, 1955. From Country Song Roundup, Volume 1, September 1955. Folk music fireball, they called him. Happy birthday, Elvis! This historic image takes us back to the roots of the legend. Captured on May 26, 1955, Elvis is seen performing on stage at RAE Stadium in Meridian, Mississippi. In 1955, Elvis, Scotty Moore, and Bill Black were relentlessly touring the South.
still primarily marketed as a country and western act with a new, exciting edge. Notice the relatively small stage setup, a sharp contrast to the lavish productions that would follow. It was during this period that publications like Country Song Roundup struggled to categorize his revolutionary sound, famously calling him a folk music fireball. The intense energy and focus on his face show the dedication he brought to every performance, even before global fame hit. This is a priceless look at the king right as his rocket to stardom was igniting, showing the world the true power of a young man fusing R&B, gospel, and country into the new genre we now know as rock and roll. December 27, 1957. Elvis Presley poses with his house guests Kathy Gabriel, 19, left, and Hannibal Melcher, 20, in Memphis. Melcher, Miss Austria 1957, met Elvis in Las Vegas in November 1957 and visited Graceland at Christmas. What a glamorous holiday season at Graceland in 1957! This festive photo shows Elvis with two beautiful house guests, Kathy Gabriel and Hannibal Melcher, who was Miss Austria 1957. Hannibal first met Elvis during his engagement in Las Vegas in November and was later invited to spend the Christmas holidays at his new Memphis home. Graceland had just become Elvis's sanctuary, a place where he could entertain friends and escape the relentless pressures of fame. This snapshot provides a charming, personal view of his life at home during the height of his superstardom, showing him enjoying the company of new friends in his private space. The fact that the king of rock and roll hosted an international beauty queen underscores his growing global appeal, proving that even at the young age of 22, Elvis was already mingling with the world's elite.
Dixie Locke Emmons family. This is a cherished, personal photo showing Elvis with a member of his inner circle, Dixie Locke Emmons, and her family. Dixie was the wife of Lamar Fike, one of the original and most loyal members of the legendary Memphis Mafia, Elvis's group of close friends and employees. These personal moments at Graceland, away from the spotlight, were incredibly important to Elvis. He often welcomed the families of his closest aides into his home, creating a strong, extended family environment. These photos offer an authentic glimpse into the private life of the king, showing him not as a performer, but as a devoted friend who genuinely valued the people around him. It is a powerful reminder that behind the suits and the sold-out shows, Elvis was a man who deeply valued loyalty, friendship, and the quiet moments of domestic life that fame often made difficult to achieve. Von Braun Civic Center, Huntsville, Alabama, June 1, 1975. Photographer George Hill. Look at the sheer power and intensity of the concert Elvis in 1975. This stunning shot, captured by photographer George Hill at the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, Alabama on June 1, 1975, shows the king in the full glory of his later stage career. By this time, Elvis's touring was a well-oiled machine, and his jumpsuit attire was instantly recognizable across the globe. This era of his performances was characterized by dramatic, powerful vocals, a charismatic stage presence, and the signature scarves he often threw to the adoring crowds. The angle of this photo perfectly captures the dramatic, almost theatrical way he presented himself, reinforcing his image as the undisputed king of the stage. The concerts of 1975 cemented his status as a legendary live performer, even as he moved into a new phase of his career. April 14, 1956. McGavick Recording Studio, Nashville. Don Craven Photography. I Want You, I Need You recording session with Chet, Hoyt, Ben, and Brock Spear. This is a truly historic document from a crucial time in Elvis's recording career. This 1956 photo, captured by Don Craven at the McGavick Recording Studio in Nashville, shows Elvis intensely focused during the session for the ballad, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. This was a pivotal moment. After the unprecedented success of Heartbreak Hotel, RCA needed a powerful follow-up. Elvis is seen here with legendary session players, including a very young Chet Atkins and members of the famous gospel group, the Spear Family, Hoyt, Ben, and Brock, who provided backing vocals. This collaboration highlights how Elvis always infused his rock and roll with the spiritual depth of gospel music. The song went on to become his second #1 hit, proving that his early success was not a fluke, but the foundation of a monumental career. April 14, 1956. McGavick Recording Studio, Nashville. Don Craven Photography. I Want You, I Need You recording session with Chet, Hoyt, Ben, and Brock Spear. Here's another incredible perspective from that monumental day. On April 14, 1956, at the McGavick Studio in Nashville, Elvis was working under immense pressure to follow up his first smash hit. This particular angle, captured by Don Craven, showcases the intimate yet intense atmosphere of a classic recording session. Notice the sheer concentration on the faces of the musicians, including the great guitarist Chet Atkins and the powerful gospel voices of the Spear Family. This blending of country, rock, and gospel was key to Elvis's unique sound. The song they were perfecting, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You, required precision and emotional depth. This photo is a testament to the high level of professionalism Elvis brought to the studio, transforming a simple session into a collaborative effort that would ultimately produce one of his most beloved and successful early ballads, securing his place at the top of the charts. Omni Coliseum, Atlanta, GA, July 3, 1973. Experience the spectacle of Elvis on tour in the 1970s. This dynamic image captures the King during his concert at the Omni Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia, on July 3, 1973. This period followed his global success with the Aloha from Hawaii satellite broadcast, making him a truly international phenomenon. The vibrant, ornate jumpsuit is characteristic of his mid-70s wardrobe, designed to be seen from the back row of massive arenas. His stage shows were renowned for their high energy, powerful vocal delivery, and an emotional connection with the audience. Elvis's concerts in the 70s were grand theatrical events, featuring a large, talented backing band and orchestra. This photo preserves the moment he commanded the stage, a powerful reminder of his enduring ability to hold tens of thousands of people in the palm of his hand with nothing but his voice and his legendary charisma. August 9, 1973. Backstage at the Hilton before his midnight show. Being presented a Gold Record Award for Aloha from Hawaii from Reiko Yukawa from Japan in Las Vegas. What a fantastic moment of global recognition! This backstage photo, taken on August 9, 1973, shows Elvis before his midnight show at the Las Vegas Hilton. Here, he is proudly accepting a Gold Record Award for his revolutionary television special, Aloha from Hawaii. The award is presented by Reiko Yukawa, a highly respected music journalist and celebrity from Japan. This image beautifully illustrates Elvis's international reach. Aloha from Hawaii was watched by an estimated 1 to 1.5 billion people worldwide, making him the first solo artist to achieve such a massive global feat. The presentation by Yukawa signifies the tremendous love and admiration Elvis commanded in Asia, a market he never even visited. It's a powerful visual representation that Elvis truly was the first rock and roll superstar with a fully global audience. Nassau Coliseum, New York, NY, June 23, 1973. Eric Lorentzen. They presented Elvis with the Norwegian silver record for She's Not You, Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello, and Aloha from Hawaii. Witnessing the international impact of the King. This great photo from Nassau Coliseum in New York on June 23, 1973, captures Elvis being honored with a Norwegian Silver Record Award. The award recognized the massive popularity of his hits in Norway, including She's Not You, Just Tell Her Jim Said Hello, and Aloha from Hawaii.
This moment reinforces the extraordinary global success of his music, especially after the Aloha special had aired worldwide just months earlier. The presentation shows that fans and record labels across Europe, including in Scandinavian countries like Norway, remained deeply devoted to his music throughout the 1970s. For a star who rarely toured internationally, these awards presented by foreign representatives, like the one captured here, were powerful symbols of his universal appeal and enduring legacy.
Nassau Coliseum, New York, NY, by Yngvar Holm, June 22, 1973. Courtesy Eric Lawrenson. Check out this amazing action shot from the Nassau Coliseum in New York on June 22, 1973. Photographed by Yngvar Holm, this picture captures the raw energy and excitement of an Elvis concert during his massive summer tour. By the summer of 1973, Elvis was in a groove, delivering powerhouse performances to sell-out crowds across the country. The deep bow and the way he interacts with the audience highlights his magnetic stage personality and his unique ability to command a vast arena. The sheer devotion from the fans, visible just beyond the stage, shows the tremendous connection he maintained with his audience. His tours in the 70s were more than just concerts, they were almost religious experiences for his fans. This image is a perfect encapsulation of the king in his element, holding court and delivering the kind of electric performance only he could. Elvis, August 1969, International Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. Starting July 31st for 4 solid weeks, 7 nights a week, and 2 shows a night. Photo credit, Elvis Presley Enterprises. This photo is a key piece of music history. It captures the moment Elvis returned to the performance stage that truly redefined his career. Here he is in August 1969 at the brand new International Hotel in Las Vegas. After years confined to Hollywood movies, Elvis signed an unprecedented deal to perform for 4 solid weeks, 7 nights a week, and 2 shows a night. This was not just a return, it was a conquest. The outfit, the intensity, and the look of pure focus show a man determined to reclaim his crown as the ultimate live performer. The reviews were ecstatic, proving his voice and stage presence were more powerful than ever. This engagement marked the official beginning of the iconic Las Vegas era that dominated the final 8 years of his life, showcasing his musical versatility and unparalleled ability to deliver an electrifying show. August 1969, Elvis Showroom International. Another compelling image from the legendary August 1969 opening engagement at the Showroom International in the new International Hotel. This shot perfectly captures the sleek, powerful image of the new Elvis. The black 2-piece karate-style suit he wore early in the engagement was a dramatic change from his leather outfit in the '68 special, symbolizing a fresh, dynamic start. The sheer scale of the orchestra and backing vocalists surrounding him illustrates the new level of sophistication and spectacle he brought to the Vegas stage. He incorporated a massive variety of music into the shows, from his early hits to contemporary songs, dazzling audiences and critics alike. This engagement broke all previous Vegas attendance records and cemented his status as the highest-paid entertainer in the city's history. This picture is the visual definition of his triumphant return to live performance. Bill Haley, the rock and roll icon in the days before Elvis Presley. This narrative requires careful focus to avoid dwelling on violence while highlighting the cultural shift. The photo is linked to a comparison between Bill Haley and Elvis. Before Elvis, there was Bill Haley, a rock and roll pioneer who paved the way for the genre's explosion. Haley famously admitted, "Even in my wildest dreams, I would never have expected that my music would become so popular." Rock and roll, with its new fashions and rebellious sound, became a powerful expression for the youth, symbolizing a massive cultural shift. Haley's tours in Europe, especially in Germany in 1958, demonstrated the intense, almost overwhelming reaction the new music caused. The sheer energy of the concerts was often channeled into unrest, showing just how profoundly this music affected the social fabric of the time. The Elvis Files magazine focused on this pivotal era, showing the connection between the original rockabilly sound and the king who eventually perfected it. Both Haley and Elvis were the driving forces behind a musical revolution that truly transformed youth culture across the world, making this comparison a fascinating look at the foundations of rock and roll. Elvis Warwick Hotel, NY, March 1956. This is a wonderful, intimate moment from the beginning of Elvis's superstardom. The photo captures a youthful Elvis at the Warwick Hotel in New York City in March 1956. This was a critical time. His debut album had just been released, and he was making numerous appearances on national television programs like Stage Show. New York was the epicenter of the media and music industry, and his visits were always a frenzy of reporters, photographers, and screaming fans. This image shows a relaxed, yet immensely charismatic young man. He is dressed stylishly, reflecting his growing status, but still retains that boyish charm that captivated millions. This is the king right before his name became synonymous with global fame, showcasing the approachable yet intensely magnetic personality that propelled him to become the biggest star in the world. Stage Show, CBS Studio 50, NY, March 17, 1956. This photograph is a priceless artifact of early television history. Here, Elvis is performing on the Stage Show television program from CBS Studio 50 in New York on March 17, 1956. This was Elvis's fifth and final appearance on the show. These television performances were absolutely crucial, transforming him from a regional star into a national sensation almost overnight. The show's relatively low-key production, being a variety show primarily aimed at an older audience, made Elvis's raw, explosive rock and roll even more shocking and revolutionary. On this final appearance, he performed classics like Heartbreak Hotel, ensuring the entire nation witnessed his dynamic stage presence. This moment was pivotal, using the power of television to accelerate the rock and roll revolution and launch Elvis Presley into a trajectory of fame that had never before been seen.